Hello, everybody, and welcome to Key 3, no rhyme intended, of the 7 Keys to Happiness. My name is Ronja, and I am in GlobeMe. So, today I thought we could talk about gratitude. Why is gratitude so important as one of the keys to happiness? Well, gratitude, similar to joy that we talked about on day 1, as well as mindfulness, helps us stay in a state of positive expectation. And if you've heard of the law of attraction, it is what we put out as a vibration that we attract. So the more we focus on things that we want in a way that doesn't have us feel all desperate and longing, but actually in a good vibration, the more we attract those things into our lives. So, but as I said just now, very often when we think about something that we want, we do that with a sense of longing, and it nearly hurts. We wonder, why don't we have that yet? We've worked so hard. Or why can't I live there when I've always wanted to move there? Or, whatever it may be. So one way to get your vibration into a place of this positive expectation is to feel gratitude for the things that you already have. And it really doesn't matter what kind of state of your life you're in. There's always something to be grateful for. For instance, currently I am looking out of my window and I see the beautiful sea. I could fret and say, yeah, well, the sun is out, but you can barely see the sea because it's also misty and almost foggy. However, I just rejoice in the fact that I have a beautiful sea view right out of my bedroom window, and that is absolutely lovely. I love the colors. I rejoice and I'm grateful for the color display that I have right in front of my nose every day. And the blue and the turquoise and the gray, even in bad weather, it looks different every day. And I'm just so grateful for that. And I'm not saying I don't have moments as well, like everybody, where it is a little more difficult to feel grateful because we're so used to focusing on the problems, because we've been trained all of our lives, at least in Western cultures, to focus on the problem to find a solution. However, that is really not that advisable to do. I don't know if you know, but Einstein usually worked on a problem. If he couldn't get anywhere, he took a nap. And then by shutting his brain off and focusing or not focusing on the problem and letting his brain do whatever it needed to do while he was taking a nap, the solution very often came to him. And we can do similar things. We don't necessarily have to take a nap, but if we take our attention away from the problem, away from what we don't want, and allow ourselves to focus on what we do want and find little things to be grateful for. And if we're grateful, we obviously do want those things and want them to multiply in our lives. And other things will fall into place. So how do we find things to be grateful for? Sometimes it is really hard when you are in a state of grief, for instance, in bereavement, or if you've had a lot of stress with moving or a breakup or whatever it may be, to find any sense of gratitude whatsoever. And I'm not suggesting like a lot of people do it, and it's always annoyed me when I was in a bad place and people just said, well, what are you depressed for? At least you have a room to live in. It's like, well, yeah. Or even worse, there are people starving out there. It's like, yeah, but whatever problem I have still hurts. So I'm not talking about comparing pain or trying to talk yourself into a guilt complex by saying, well, I should be grateful for this because other people don't have that. That is not helpful. That is getting us into a downward spiral again, a rabbit hole as I call them, and making us feel guilty and then worrying about why we cannot feel the gratitude that we ought to feel, and then we just go down this rabbit hole. So what I suggest is to just have a look around and find one thing, anything that you could possibly be grateful for. And just paying attention to that opens something up in you. Even if you're in a place where the grief might be so overwhelming, or the hurt or the stress might be so overwhelming that you have a hard time feeling gratitude, just being open enough to look for things to be grateful for already shifts something. It already changes the vibration to something more open, more positive, as we call it. So let's say even though you are in a bad place, have a look around. Did you wake up that morning in very cozy duvets with a fluffy pillow to put your head on? Yes, possibly. If so, let's use this as an example. I'm not telling you try and be grateful for it. No, what I'm trying to tell you is feel into the sensation and see if you can be open to just feeling it. It kind of plays into the mindfulness exercise that we did yesterday, if not even into the joy that we did on day one. First key of happiness was joy. Second key to happiness is mindfulness. Being mindful of what actually surrounds you. So if you allow yourself to feel the feathers, to feel that soft duvet, and focus on that, your attention shifts away from the depressing, hurting, hurtful thoughts towards something that opens you up to possibly feel joy and gratitude. So, and the more you practice that, the easier it will become. Just having this openness. Next step might be in the bathroom. Do you have sanitation? That is lovely. And once you focus your attention on the fact that once you put the toilet lid down and then actually flush, push the button to flush, once you actually pay attention to that, you open up the pathway energetically to feel the gratitude that you have that kind of plumbing in your house. Next thing would be the shower. Is it possible to have hot water in your house and enjoy the shower? Does it wash away some of your pain? Does it make your body feel good? Pay attention to that. Open up the channel to gratitude. And then you will notice more and more. First, you will notice more things that you could possibly feel gratitude about. And you will notice that you open up to gratitude in a way that allows gratitude to sneak in. And then more and more you will find yourself being thankful for it. You can even say, and even if you don't necessarily mean it in that moment because there's a block to feeling that, because you're in a challenging space, just say thank you anyway. Just give it a try. You don't have to pray to a particular deity, or you don't even have to be a believer of anything. It doesn't matter. Just say thank you that I have this in my life, and see what it does. After a while, you will notice that you can actually start feeling this thankfulness, this gratitude. It also sends out the energy to all that is, that you're willing to feel gratitude, that you are appreciative of the things that you have, that you are willing to and open enough and courageous enough to want to change your vibration, that you're open enough and hopeful enough to invite happiness into your life. And then more and more things will come into your life that actually cause happiness. And that will happen in two ways. First, you will be more open to seeing those things that can potentially make you happy, like the green grass right in front of me, the view of the sea beyond, the still kind of naked tree which is about to bud very, very soon. And then not only noticing those things that can give you happiness, but also noticing things that actually do give you happiness, that have accumulated in your life, that multiply suddenly, that become more and more. Suddenly you see more things that truly do make you happy, and that might range from seeing more dogs walking around that want to play with you, or anything really. So the openness to want to experience and feel happiness will then actually open the path for you to have more happiness and to give you more occurrences, situations, people, things that can create happiness for you. And it all starts with a feeling of gratitude. An attitude of gratitude is not just a saying that rhymes so nicely. It is really something that we should practice more often as we can, because it provides us with such a fundamental, important and radical shift in our vibration that can really, truly carry us towards happiness. And remember, whenever you are in a place where it's difficult for you, practice it anyway. Find something to focus on, find the joyful aspects of that situation, of that object, of that person. Be mindful of what aspect that is, focus on that, and then be grateful for it by at least saying thank you. Start noticing things, and then you'll start noticing shifts. It sounds really easy. Well, it sounds pretty simple, but it's not always that easy. So be gentle on yourself. You can start by being grateful that you have the opportunity to watch this little video clip, or that you have the opportunity to listen to these little reminders. And just give yourself time. Be grateful that you have the patience to try over and over again, that you have the courage to do so. Don't ever let yourself be pulled down a rabbit hole, usually by our own nasty thoughts about ourselves and our guilt trips that we like to put ourselves on. Be grateful that you keep trying. Be grateful that you can be grateful sometimes, and you'll notice it will increase, and so will everything else. And in the end, there'll be more happiness and contentment. So I hope that was a nice little reminder. Again, don't go crazy in your quarantine. Use this time to practice the little things, the 7 keys to happiness. And I'll see you again soon, tomorrow.